But the fact that the ratings from Caitlin Clark series to these series fell off a cliff, it should surprise no one.
I'm watching the Indiana Fever game. I'm just waiting on Caitlin Clark to catch the basketball.
Ajay Wilson has become frustrated with the decline in viewership following Caitlin Clark's departure from the playoffs.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate.
In a recent interview, she stated, "This year, I've heard more people say my game is boring than ever before. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever." Wilson is exasperated by the drop in interest since Clark left the playoffs, desiring to play with more freedom, unbothered by fans. That wish came true after the Fever's elimination, as playoff interest plummeted.
Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well.
Clark's absence has resulted in decreasing viewership game by game while she watched from home. She might find humor in this situation. They could have achieved record playoff final viewership, but instead, it's a missed opportunity.
All I gotta say is she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's wrong, Molly.
Monica,
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's
five
excuses.
top players,
It's
am I
excuses,
right?
Molly. It's
Major
excuses.
injury.
You would not be saying that if it wasn't UConn.
Major stars not playing.
Listen, excuse me,
Go.
it's her against Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
You
A.
got there.
Wait a
No,
minute.
want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you, if
Paige
Georgetown get
Beckers-
back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now.
What?
If Paige Beckers didn't basically miss 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking
Come on
about
now.
Caitlin Clark the way we are now.
Now we have a finals matchup between the New York Liberty and Minnesota Lynx, teams I can't name a single player from. This final is expected to draw the lowest viewership of the entire playoffs. How does the WNBA allow this to occur?
The reason 12 million people are watching ESPN
Yeah.
for a game, if that game was on CBS, they probably would have had 25, 30 million people watching that game.
The WNBA clearly struggles without Caitlin Clark. They attempted to downplay the Caitlin effect, but the evidence is becoming undeniable. Without her, the league has regressed into being unwatchable.
And it looks like we're not going to be seeing Caitlin Clark play basketball again for another 200 days. An ESPN reporter said at the end of the Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun Game 2 that Caitlin Clark almost definitely will not be playing basketball this offseason. So no overseas and no 3-on-3 unrivaled league.
Aja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces have been dominant throughout the WNBA season. They entered the playoffs as top contenders, with many expecting them to reach the finals. However, their semifinal match against the New York Liberty didn't go as anticipated. The Liberty, featuring their own stars, outperformed the Aces, shocking the WNBA community. The Aces' elimination not only dashed their championship hopes, but also removed a marquee player from the spotlight, contributing to the waning playoff excitement.
Caitlin Clark's the most valuable, most important person in the WNBA this year, and should have been unanimous Rookie of the Year.
The unanimous MVP title comes with high expectations. Fans and analysts alike anticipate that the MVP will propel their team deep into the playoffs, possibly to a championship. Aja Wilson's elimination not only affected her team's chances, but also stripped the playoffs of a key storyline. She was meant to be the player everyone watched in the finals, but now she won't even compete for the title.
Being disrespectful, but they talked a lot of trash and they got humbled. And I think that that's okay. That is sports. That is what we live for in sports.
Caitlin Clark is a player who draws attention effortlessly. Her captivating play style and game control make her one of the WNBA's most thrilling athletes. However, after the Indiana Fever, led by Clark, were ousted by the Connecticut Sun, the playoffs lost much of their allure. The usual excitement surrounding WNBA playoff games seemed to dissipate. Without Clark, the matches felt less intense, thrilling, and enjoyable for many fans.
And to act like there isn't or hasn't been legitimate resentment emanating from those who are pioneers. Nobody's fooled here. You got pundits who used to play in the WNBA, some of them who didn't, and who were speaking on behalf of those who didn't want to create that kind of noise themselves because of the negative impact. We talk about it when the men do it. If we detect jealousy, if we detect envy, if we detect resentment, and it's amongst the fellas, we put it out there. Shit, we act like it's the latest episode of General Hospital. But when the ladies are feeling that way about another young lady like Caitlin Clark, and people like myself and Shay Shay call it out, suddenly it's a problem.
Losing a player like Caitlin Clark from the playoffs means losing a unique experience. Her combination of skill and charisma attracts viewers, from diehard fans to casual watchers. When she was eliminated, that spark vanished, leaving a playoffs that felt lackluster and unexciting. For the WNBA, this was a significant setback. The playoffs should be the season's climax, a time for the best players to shine and fans to be engrossed. But without Clark, the playoffs turned into what many labeled a disappointment.